everybody, it's Sam at Mixed Up Craft. Thank you for watching my tutorial today. This is my last tutorial of 2017. So yeah, it's been a good year, I would say. I'm really pleased with what I've achieved and done so far. So I thought a nice way to end the year would be to do a calendar for the following year. So I did do a calendar about 6 months ago, and really love that one. And that's excuse me, that's just numbers. So it's just the month and the year, and it can be used year upon year upon year. If you haven't seen that one, I will share the link now for you. So that's one alternative. The other one is this one. Now, those of you that follow me know that I live in China. China do sell calendars, and I can get them online, but they're in Chinese in the stores. And they don't have the Western holidays that we would obviously have in our calendars. And also, I like a big calendar. I like one where I can have an overview of the month. I can write everything on. So here I can write my tutorials when they're going up. I can also fit birthdays in there, you know, when I'm flying back to the UK, things. I need a nice big calendar. So I've made my own up. This is a proper DIY project. I've printed these off as free printables from the internet, and I'll share all those links on my blog. I've made all the letters from the We Are Memory Keepers mini alphabet punch board, which is brilliant. So I've done that, and I've kept this gold theme. I've done little elements, obviously February, the month of love, and so on and so forth, and I've gone through them there, which I'll show you in more detail. But I just wanted something that was going to fold flat if I need to move it around, and then it stands up perfectly, and then each one can flip over as I move on to the next month. So this is really good. It fits purpose perfectly for me, but for my needs I need a nice big calendar. So let me crack on and show you how we made it. Okay, so you are going to need, I've got lots of bits and pieces here. So this is this wonderful mini alphabet punch board that I got from We Are Memory Keepers. I'm not going to be showing you how to use this today. I'm going to do a separate tutorial for this, but this is what it looks like, and this is the book that you get with it, with all of the alphabet and how to cut each one out. So it's brilliant. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'll share all the links, and as I said, I will do a separate tutorial on that one. So this is a proper DIY calendar for the reasons that I mentioned. So this is all the bits that you're going to need. The paper pack that I've used is this one here, which is Do Crafts Papermania Capsule Elements, and it's their pigment paper pack. Get 36 in the pack. Is exactly the same weight and size as the Love Santa one that I used over Christmas. This is the 12 by 12, and again you can see there the kind of styles that you get, so I really like that one. So I've already pre-cut everything, and I have done it all around this printable that I got off the internet, and again I'll share all those links for you. So you know, I'm showing you the process and how to put it together. You can adapt it to any size that you want, and any design really that you want. This is, like I said, proper DIY. So I have got here a piece of 8 1/4 by 11 5/8 or 11 3/4. So it's just your default A4 paper, but you can obviously use the letter paper size as well. You just have to cut down accordingly. Then the paper here, this is the one that I'm going to do on top. So I'm going to do July. Why July I left to the last, I don't know, but that's the one I'm doing. And this sits nicely in the middle of this, giving you a nice border. And this piece measures at 7 3/4 by 11 1/4. Okay, so that's going on there. Then that's obviously my printable. Now what I've done is on each one, as I briefly showed, I've cut out wherever there were no more days, because you know they have the blanks along here just to fill it up. But I've cut that out because what I'll be doing is sticking this on here, sticking this up towards the top left hand side there, and then I pre-cut the shortened word July or Jul, and that is going to go inside like so. Okay, I could have fit all 4 letters on this one, but I wanted to keep it the same throughout, so they're all just shortened words. So that's going to go there, and then I've got to go on top of that. I've just die cut some little flowers, which which I'm going to pop like so just to decorate that one up, and I've got some little embellishments there as well. So I'm going to go along and just get all of that stuck down. Okay, so there's that page all done. You can see there, it's lovely, those letters look really nice, and I've put the little embellishments on there as well, on the flowers and everything, so that one is done. So I've got a load here that I've already done, so these are all ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is just take off these ring binders, and I picked these up. I've used these before in my perpetual calendar. These are actually from the same pack, still left over. Pick them up from Walmart. You get a box, they're no more than a couple of dollars, a few pound. I'll share all the links, and you get a variety of sizes there as well. So you don't have to have 3. I found 4 too much. It's that same thing. 4 was too much. 2 I didn't maybe feel was enough because of the size of the paper that I'm doing. But I guess if you're maybe a bit smaller, then you could just have 2. If you're doing 12 by 12 pieces, because that would be even bigger, and you could do that, then you would need to have 4. So I'm using 3. Now what I've done is I've just measured in from the outside, so to the middle part there, it was 2 7/8. So you want to come in 2 7/8 from each of the sides here to give you these 2 outer ones, and then for the middle one again it was just 2 7/8. Or if you just mark the middle point of the 2 that you've done, just mark a middle point and then do that. Hole punch those. Then what you need to do is you don't need to measure every one. All you can do then is put the one that you've pushed the holes out of and just grab your hole punch and basically just line it all up, make sure they're completely in place, and just put the hole punch back in the hole and just punch through, and then you will get an exact, because even if you use your pencil marks, you know, you could be just ever so, you know, a small mill out, and if you keep doing that on every one, then by the time you've done all 12 there'd be a considerable difference. Whereas if you do this and just hold each one in place like so, you know now that that is exact as all the others. Okay, so January, February, March, April, I love May, May with a bumblebee, May, June, July, and then August, September, October, November. Don't really like the V, it does a weird V in that thing, and then there's December. So they are all now done. Okay, when you do your holes, obviously if you're using the same size that I am, you would have done them as I've done here. I did come down, let me just do that measurement as well, yeah, 1/4 inch, okay? But also bear in mind is that if you're changing the sizes of this, just make sure that you've got enough room for your binders, your ring binders, to go through all of these, all of this card. It's a good inch, maybe, yeah, about an inch thick. So let me just line this all up, just pop these back through again. And you have to remember that they need to be able to loop right around. So there needs to be like this 1/4 inch inside the ring plus this 1/4 inch inside the ring as it flips around. So you don't want to be doing your hole really far down because it just won't turn, it won't fit. So have a play around on some you know, some spare paper, some scraps first until you're happy with what you've got, and then take the plunge and do it. So like I said, I've got the perpetual calendar and I explain it the same in that one as well. So there you go. So that is my calendar base now, you know, pages already. So now on to the base. Done is I've got all the strong, like not quite chipboard, but the strong card that is the top and the bottom sheets of the paper packs that I've purchased, and I'm going to be sticking them together like so, and then another 2 together like so. So I've got 4 sheets of this. Now before you stick it all together, you have to put these little inserts in. Okay, these are going to be the hinges on each corner to make it super strong, and then I've got the base here. So depending on what paper, what card you're using, if you've got really strong card that isn't going to bend with the weight of all of that leaning against it, then you will only need 2 pieces of this size that I'm about to give you. Okay, so this measures at 12 by 8 3/4. So 4 pieces if you're using similar to what I've got, 2 pieces if you've got really strong, like a chipboard kind of thing. Then for the base, again, I've reinforced that with 2 pieces that are going to go back to back. Again, if you've got 1 strong piece, then you only need 1, and that's 4 by 12. Okay, and then I have here the 3 hinges. So these measure, oh, I've already put my score lines in, so they're 2 by 12, and then I've just taken a little notch off of each end, which I'll talk you through in a moment. Okay, so I'll get rid of my scoreboard now, so that's everything done. So let's first of all grab one of our hinges. These hinges were 2 by 12, and what I've done is I just scored at 1 inch through the middle there along that 2-inch side. So just score straight down the middle at 1 inch. Burnish it, okay, and then with the folded side facing you, you just want to cut a slight notch off the corner there, just to give you that kind of arrow shape. It just means you won't get anything hanging out over the sides when we come to put it together. So basically what is going to happen, so this is the thing, if you don't have 2 pieces, if you're just using 1 piece, then basically if this is your 1 piece, you will stick this on the inside like so, along there, like that. Okay, so you're creating the top part of our stand. If we're using 2 pieces like I am, I just didn't want to have that on show. So this is going to go inside like that, and then this is going to stick on top. So let me remove that there. So I've got this piece, then I'm putting the hinge in, and then I'm sticking that over the top. And not only is it going to reinforce, but it also just keeps it nice and tidy, and it hides that piece so you don't see it. If you've got 12 by 12 super strong card, again, and you know what you're doing, you could do this as all one continuous piece. You don't have to have the separate bits like I've done. So I'm going to go ahead with my wet glue. Okay, so you stick this one like so, then you grab another hinge and you're going to stick this one along this side here. Okay, so I'm just putting that one inside, just folding the whole thing over there, just so that glue all sticks down. Okay, so that's nice and stuck. So I've got my piece there with the 2 hinges either side, and then this piece here is going to go right over the top there, sitting nicely just to cover it all up. Okay, so just go ahead and stick all of that down, flip it over, and grab your other 2 pieces or your 1 piece that you may have, and again we're going to then fold this one, keep one of these down on top, fold this one over like so, and then stick that on top, and then again put your other hinge at the bottom there, so you have that one there, and stick that all down on top like so. Okay, okay, so that's that all stuck down. So you can see now I've got this kind of triangle shape coming together here. So now before we put the base on, and I'll talk you through that piece in a minute, grab one of your ones, because what you want to do is put your hole punches in before we obviously put the base on. So I've got this one here which sits over the top, and I want to have it closer to the top, and I'll have an even border. So I've got about 1/8 of an inch. Is it 1/8? So even just a little bit more. It's more like 3/16. I'll just bring that up. Sorry, yeah, about 3/16. And then the bottom, if I just fold up one of the hinges there, so you can see if I'm bringing it up further to the top, I've got a bigger gap here, which is what I want. Okay, so just make sure you bring it up so it's closer to the top. So you've got, because you just don't want it rubbing on the bottom, which it won't if it's lifted off like that. And then all I need to do is grab a pencil and just do a proper, like I'm actually drawing around that hole, because I don't just want to do a dot, because otherwise my dots could be slightly off. So actually draw around it so you can see there what I've just done. Okay, and then I need to hole punch them. So I've got this Cool Device, which cuts through really strong materials, and it's by X-Cut. So I've used it in a few tutorials now, and I'll share all the links. And I'm basically just going to hold that over that hole, and it will cut right through for me. Like so. I'll just grab my pokey tool and just push those out, like so. Okay, so you can see now. And then if I just fold it over again, grab my pencil, and now I can draw through again, getting exactly the same on that other piece. Okay, and then I just want to again cut those out and just push them through. And this has gone really hard now because that glue's all set, so this is a really strong base. So now I have the holes on both sides ready to feed through once we come to put it all together. So now I've got those two base pieces, and this was 4 by 12, and then I just scored at 2 inches along the 4-inch side here. I just scored at 2 inches right down through the middle, and then you just want to just burnish like so, and they're going to sit, one's going to sit inside of the other. Again with the hinge, I bring one out here, so it's going to be one underneath the hinge like so, and then one on top, just as we've done all the others, and that will just hide it all and make it nice and strong. And then also you need to bring, so what I would say first of all is just stick half, so just glue up to the halfway where you've done the score line. So let me just do this one here, so just put a splodge of my glue like so. Okay, and then I've got this other piece here, and I'm just going to put it so on the right hand side, so the left, put it on this right hand side of the under piece, if you're doing what I'm doing, using like these scrap pieces like so. So I'm only doing that half piece, and then again I'm just lining that up all in place there. So that's all nice and strong, and then I just need to open up these two pieces. Again, just put glue on one side for the minute, and then this piece here is going to come over, so you need to put glue on this hinge here like so, and then trying to do this on camera, so lift the base up, sit the corners, the corner of the hinge there, that score line, I'm sitting with the corner of the base just in there. Okay, stick that down, be a bit mucky, and then bring up this piece here so it's all concealed like so. Just kind of hold it in place for the minute. So I've probably made it quite fiddly because I'm using double layers of everything, but if you imagine this with just single layers, this is a good way to make a really quite large stand. So this is the only way I could see to make it, and you can see now how it's all coming together, and that when it's dry is going to obviously bend up. And when it bends down, that's the full kind of expanded width that it will open to, and it will hold your calendar up nice and strong. And then obviously when it's flat, it means you can just move it around and transport it like so. So that's kind of in place, and what I'm going to do is just bring it down even more, flatten it, and now I can just put all my pressure on there just to make sure that's all completely still. Now I've got all of my pages here, so I'm just going to undo one at a time, and you just want to grab your stand and just thread through each of those. I can feel it starting to lift off the bottom already, which is good. There we go. Now I've spread out the stand underneath, and I have a perfect calendar, and that is, I'm so pleased with that. You can see it there, how it stands up. It's proper DIY, it's proper makeshift, and I love it. It's what crafting's all about, and it's perfect. It does what I want it to do. It's the size that I need it to be, and it's great to just kind of glance over, and then I can just, you can just lift it up. It's got plenty of free space there to kind of bend right over, like so. That will sit on the back, and then you're on to your next month. And like I said, if you are moving or traveling, it folds completely flat, so you can fit it into a file or your briefcase or something like that if you do need to transport it. And again, just move it over. It takes me to our next month. So I am super pleased with that. I hope you like this idea. I will also attach the other calendar that I done. I totally forgot the name from it, it's gone from my mind, but I'll attach that one as well at the end of this video in case you want to do something like that as well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this one. Have a fantastic new year, and I'll catch you in 2018. Bye.